Okay, everyone's been talking about DeepSeek. I got some great demos. Let's dive into what is DeepSeek, why it's important, do some demos, and actually crack the nugget on it. I'm actually excited because when I woke up today, I was like, what is DeepSeek? And so let's get started. Let me share my screen and we could dive into what is. So DeepSeek is, it's actually like a investment firm's side project in China. It's their side project, and we're going to get into basically what it is. Okay, so the reason why DeepSeek is so popular right now is because they're like, hey, ChatGPT, OpenAI, you guys, this really has to do with closed source, like ChatGPT and OpenAI, where everything's closed and proprietary, versus open source. That's the main thing. And the big question is like, hey, does ChatGPT have a moat? Are they proprietary in the new O1 and how they train their models? And do you need like millions of dollars in like NVIDIA chips to like keep up with them? And all these companies in the US are spending billions of dollars on infrastructure and everything. Is that necessary? And then here comes this investment firm. It's their side project. They actually do trading. It's a bunch of quants. That's what they do on their day job. And so this was their side project that they produced DeepSeek and trained it using old NVIDIA chips for about $5.6 million. And then they just released it open source. Much same how just like how Meta is releasing theirs open source Llama model. So that's the main thing of really the innovation that's really right now is like, are there proprietary models, large language models versus open source large language models? And basically we're seeing that open source large language models are able to compete now with proprietary models. And so they trained it using old technology, but they had to do it creativity, which is basically like Moore's law, where they had to innovate and not rely on lots of training data or new and up-to-date hardware, but rather they had to really optimize the model in and of itself. So that's a huge, huge leap in innovation. And so we're going to see, I mean, we're just starting in January, we're going to see the takeoff of this. So DeepSeek, they completely open sourced it. It's on par. Let's see if I can show you some models with it. Hey Vince, thank you so much. I know you were waiting patiently, and I was like, I don't know, the previous stream crashed for whatever reason, but you haven't missed much. So this right now is like the comparison of like DeepSeek, which is like dark blue, and then you have OpenAI in like the gray next to it. And then these are different tests. These are the benchmark techs. Main summary, you don't have to get nerdy with it, but basically it's on par with ChatGPT's O1, the one that you're paying $200 a month for. This is completely free and open source. The open source I'm really excited for. Like that's the real game changing. And so that's what really is interesting is because now for free, you have access to a large language model that is on par with with the most sophisticated model right now, which is ChatGPT. Let's take a look at this image right here. This is basically on the upper. If you're going up, it's like performance. And then if you're going to the right of the chart, it's like how expensive it is, basically. So if it's to the left of the chart, it's cheaper. If it's to the right of the chart, it's more expensive. If it's at the top of the chart, it's super smart. If it's at the bottom of the chart, it's super dumb. That's the kind of way. And so you can see DeepSeek is in this section right here of performance over price ratio because it's not the most sophisticated or it's basically the most powerful model, but also the cheapest to run. That's the most fascinating thing about this, of how much less both hardware and software you need to run DeepSeek. That's the real significant change. You can see Claude in the upper right hand corner and ChatGPT 4.0. And then DeepSeek is over here. So basically we now have a cheaper, on par with the smartest. Smart is a weird way to say it, but it's really powerful now. So this changed the game. And again, the main thing that this shows is the arms race between open source models like Llama, just how Meta and Facebook just open source their model and just give it away for free to the open source community, versus proprietary, where you have closed off weights, you don't have access to how the prompts, you don't know what it's really doing behind the scenes. It's all proprietary. So that was the big thing that OpenAI was kind of hoping for, was like, we have a moat, we have a proprietary models where it's going to take companies billions of dollars and lots of hardware in order for them to compete with us. And then here comes this, it's literally was their side project. They were a trading firm in China. And then they're just like, hey, for a side project, we do a lot of math algorithms to make our clients more money through the stock market. We're like, yo, we just made this side project and it runs more efficient than your proprietary models. And they released this, I believe, on the inauguration day. So that's the interesting thing, is like, whoa, wait a minute. So it really just upset a lot of people. You have the stock market, which is like, you have a bunch of investors, which are basically like, hey, companies are pouring billions of dollars trying to build this proprietary moat, trying to see like more hardware, more infrastructure, more NVIDIA chips. And that's how we're going to race to AGI. But in all honesty, there's a chart. Maybe I'll find it. Like, let's see. I think it's LLM wall chart. Maybe I'll find this thing. Here it is. This is a very interesting. This is on Reddit. Our large language models pretty much. Are large language models pretty much going to get us to AGI, or artificial general intelligence? And the short answer is no. You can see here how GPT-2 is at the very bottom when it came out in 2019. Then we have GPT-3, and then we have GPT-4, and then we have GPT-4o, and then o1 preview, and then o1 high, and then here's o1 pro, and then o1. And you're seeing it's actually hitting a brick wall. Performance. So it's not, large language models aren't going to be the thing that's going to get us to whole sentient AIs, what is Skynet kind of thing. Like, it's not the path there. So, and throwing more training data and more money at hardware isn't really going to be the big factor as far as innovating in the market. So that's why Deepseek came in and just blew everyone away, because like, I mean, let's be honest, they caught OpenAI with their pants down, because they're like, hey, we're spending so much money and we have the fastest, smartest model. But when you play with it and it's doing its like, or its chain thinking, it like hides it, and it hides all the things. So you don't even know what it's doing behind the scenes. And they've been pretty shitty as far as like releasing anything new. I mean, at the end of the day, OpenAI just hasn't been releasing anything new or true innovation. And so they got caught with their pants down. And the whole stock market is tied to NVIDIA and pretty much ChatGPT and OpenAI, which is being used as, because their API in the background, most of the companies are using it because it's the smartest, fastest model. Claude's a little bit cheaper too. And so that's why this upset a lot of people. So let's now take a look at what is Deepseek. So I'm very excited because I got some really cool demos that we're going to actually play with Deepseek, and I'm going to show you how you can play with it. So Deepseek, again, you get the main innovations is 1, it's completely open source. 2, it's completely free. You can access it both on the desktop computer, going to deepseek.com. It functions just like ChatGPT, and also, which actually it's so fast too, you could actually download the Deepseek app, which is now in one of the top stores, Deepseek Apple Store. It's actually now is like at the top of the Apple Store, which is like, that's funny. So you can download it on your mobile app. It's completely free, and it's just as smart as what people pay $200 a month for ChatGPT o1, basically. If you're on ChatGPT regular plan, like $20 a month, you get some use of the o1 before it just defaults to 4, basically. So that's the real power of it. So create a free account. Okay, now let's talk about the elephant in the room. Let's just get this off the bat right here. The elephant in the room is, yes, you're playing with a model that's from China. So it all comes down to data privacy. So that's going to be the biggest thing of whether you're going to use it or not. At the end of the day, both Microsoft, which also they're running ChatGPT's models on, I mean, and then OpenAI has, I mean, you look at their board of directors and it's pretty like national security, like pretty shady people. So like it's the which two of the evils that you want your data is going to. It's either going to the NSA and Palantir, or it's going towards China, like TikTok. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like choose your evil, honestly, and also like the business needs. So like obviously, let's talk about just quickly business use cases. If you're a freelance or if you're a personal person, yes, it's no different than using ChatGPT. Just know if same follow the same privacy rules. Don't put any PHI information and personal information or stuff like that. Your social security number, phone number, contact information. Don't put any of that. You shouldn't do that with any of the models, anyways. If you're a small business, honestly, it comes down to cost. If you can't afford ChatGPT, and you're like really need an O1 or a large, basically just a large language model, it's free. It works. I mean, it's either you're going to use that or Claude, or ChatGPT, basically. It depends on the task and project that you're going to use, basically. If you're a medium-sized business, then you're going to really, it's really, you want to talk to your IT guy as far as like, do you guys have any proprietary technology or information that you guys don't want shared with competitors, basically? If you're enterprise, look, you're not going to be using Deep01 on any level. If you're an employee that works for a corporate enterprise level, you're not going to be using Deep01 for anything, just because of state secrecy, national security, all that fun stuff. Like mainly just because you need enterprise level security. And so that's why ChatGPT, your company should, if you're enterprise level, you should hire the enterprise or buy the enterprise license for ChatGPT, OpenAI, basically. That's basically it. But let's get nerdy with it. Let's actually kick the tires and play with it. Now, I'm going to show you 2 ways, super fun, to get access and play with it. So number 1, it functions just like ChatGPT. You have your chat history on the left-hand side. We can say, what is the meaning of the universe? I'll do an actual better example. What I find personally is that Deepseek is actually more verbose on a good level versus ChatGPT. I find ChatGPT a little lobotomized and a little short, especially O1, but think of it as O1 with more context, more words, more information. That's why I kind of like Deepseek there. Now, am I going to be switching over? It's just another tool at the end of the day. And it really comes down to the tasks or projects that you're working with. If I'm doing something analytical, if I'm analyzing data or something like that, then of course I'm going to try and use either Deepseek, of course, privacy information. But yeah, I mean, it spits out information. It's just as fast. It's just as smart as O1. Now, if you want the reasoning model, then let's actually create a HTML game of Space Invaders. Now, of course, I can't spell. I'm going to click this button, which is going to invaders. Enable R1, which is like the smartest version, and then press enter. You could attach files. Now you see the thinking. The interesting thing about the thinking thing, it will actually show you its chain of thought thinking, unlike ChatGPT O1, which hides that because of proprietary. So it's thinking. There we go. So if it's in gray, this is its train of thought thinking. So it's kind of like thinking out loud before it actually comes up with the actual answer, for example. And again, so now see how it's now we got black text and it's actually going to like give us some text. So now, and I think if memory serves right, since this is HTML, you can actually run this almost like how Claude has its little, I forgot what they're called, but you could run the program in it. They have a special name for it. That's actually cool. So let's see what happens if we could code a Space Invader game. Cool. It's got the game. So that's the feature here. Is like if you're doing any coding, it will run in the browser. If you ask it to code in HTML, see this little pop up. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Oh, did it crash? I think it crashed. Okay, so it's not the best right off the bat. It crashed when I shot the pew pew, because we can't say certain words on YouTube. Let's see what it does if it fixed the crashes. Okay, it's trying to fix the crash, which is interesting. This is coding. This is debugging. I got a really dope make automation, which I'm super excited to show you guys. So let's see. So now it's going to rewrite it. And then while it's doing so again, you can access it through the browser, just like ChatGPT. You could download it on your phone and access it just on your phone. Space Invaders, Jose says, best game ever. I know, right? Who knew that we could have just coded up space? You know how long it took a company to create Space Invader, and here we are just creating it in like less than a minute. What a wild world we live in. Okay, cool. Let's see if it fixed it. So run it. Oh, it fixed it. Look at that. That's the whole part, or the joy of learning how to code. You're going to spend most of your time learning how to debug. Okay, hold on. I want to get to the very end. That's awesome. Ran it in HTML. Took 2 minutes. Done. Isn't that awesome? Computers. So there's no excuse for you to not learn how to code. Like coding now, back in my day, we had to search. Oh my God, we had to search the web. So basically it codes. That's cool. Let's now move on to some other cool things that you could do with Deepseek that are really nifty. Did you know that you could run Deepseek completely local on your computer, offline, without being connected to the internet? This is something, it's been a project that I've been wanting to do because I've really wanted a personal large language model on my computer that I can just like get personal with, and just like not have that information shared with like OpenAI or like Claude, and that information being used as training data. So like that is like super annoying. So you can run Deepseek. I'm trying not to say Deepseek locally on your computer. I'm running a Mac M1 that's like 3 years old, give or take. The way you're going to do that, if you go to ollama.com and then hold on. That's me. Woo. All that innovation. Okay, so ollama.com, you can download it. It's super easy to download. You just choose your operating system, click download. Once you have Ollama installed, which I do have, you see the little icon right up here in the very top. Once Ollama is running, this is cool. So I'm gonna open up terminal. Yep, now we got terminal on my computer. You can, oh wait, I skipped a step. So once you have Ollama installed, you can search the models here. So Deepseek, just search it. And then all you have to do is click this right here. Just run that in terminal in using Ollama. It's literally two buttons. That's all it takes to like install Deepseek on your computer, and then you have O1 running locally on your computer. Thank you so much, Vince. Bless me. I appreciate all of you. You guys are awesome. So now and it took maybe, the size of it was like 4.7 gigs. I have nothing of like, it's just a regular Mac M1, nothing special. So now if we go to terminal, this blew my mind. This is so cool. So I have terminal, and I'm now running Deepseek in 1,000 characters. What is the meaning of the universe? I'm now talking to Deepseek locally on my computer in real time, and it's not connected to the internet. That is dope. I remember when Llama came out, you needed like special hardware. A lot of like memory to like run Llama and stuff like that. Now, this is wild. Again, this is a $200 membership to ChatGPT, what they're charging you to run this style of model. The only difference is, again, what they did was they just optimized it so that it doesn't matter the hardware per se. You could run this on 10-year-old hardware, and it's just as optimized to run. So Moore's law still applies to AI in a sense, I guess is the way. Now, we're still not going to get AGI or artificial general intelligence. Even like agents is still kind of iffy, basically. We're not going to get there through large language models. But now we basically broke the myth that hey, all you need is more training data, or all you need is more electricity and hardware, which basically has been OpenAI's pitch, where they're like, give us more money so we could do more infrastructure, and give us more training data so we could harvest and, oh my God, the training data. So that to me, it just spit this out. Really cool. That to me is fascinating. And you can see here, see the little brackets, think. So this is this like train of thought, thinking. And then once it finished thinking, backslash think, then it gave me a very simple answer in less than 1,000 characters. The universe is an endless pursuit of understanding its origins, structure, and purpose. Our quest to explore beyond the known frontiers of space and time to comprehend the profound mysteries that shape existence itself. Now, it's not perfect. You still have to understand it was built in China with their biases. ChatGPT has their own biases. You're not going to get 100% factual information, and that's something that I still always caveat when I teach my students about AI. Never trust the AI. Never trust whatever comes out of the AI. It's like trusting Wikipedia. You know it's biased at the end of the day. So that's why I'm not going to go for like meaningful life questions or life answers kind of thing. It's mainly, again, these are tools to help you both professionally or at work or I'm mostly focused in your business, how to help you get more leads and more sales using AI. It's going to help you work faster. These are just productivity tools. And then you're either going to use AI for productivity to accomplish a task faster, or you're going to use it for strategy to make better decisions, basically. Those are the best two use cases. That's why. And then this is just one of the large language models in your toolkit. Again, there's top 3, ChatGPT Plus, which I still keep ChatGPT Plus because the ability to create custom GPTs is still very valuable, at least for me, because I do a lot of copywriting. And then now you have Claude, especially if you're going to be doing some coding, if you want to write a program. And now you have Deepseek, which is also really good at coding, as we just saw. So play with the models. Every model is going to depend on your use case. That is dope. It's running on my computer. Like when I did my first ChatGPT video 2 years ago, it's wild how this has gone. But wait, there's more. I have another exciting thing to show you, which is so cool. If you remember last week, let me go to my YouTube library. Last Friday, because again, this whole series is called Learn AI Every Day with John, or AI Made Simple. The name changes, but the main concept is every night, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we're going to learn something new about AI. And if last Thursday, we wrote a book using ChatGPT or AI in an hour. Last Friday, we built an automation workflow using Make.com and ChatGPT. Really awesome to automatically post on LinkedIn. We're going to actually build off this automation and replace with ChatGPT with Deepseek. So that's going to be our next demo. Ta-da! So this is the same workflow from the previous demo, where basically all it does is look at our Excel sheet. Here's a picture of an image of Deepseek's logo. This is think of it as basically the idea is like, hey, you put ideas for content that you want to create, for example, and then pass it to a large language model. It will take that idea and generate text, and then it will automatically post on LinkedIn or whatever your social media channel is, basically. So the message or the content idea is, what is Deepseek? We're going to take this image. It's just the image of Deepseek logo. That's all, nothing special. Maybe in a future one. Yeah, later. That's going to be actually this week. Thank you, Jose. This week, we're actually going to do a demo on N8N because that's just as powerful. But I like teaching people with Make because it's completely free and it's just as powerful. It's like learning how to do things raw versus, I think I treat N8N like having training wheels, basically. Like you just have pre-made modules. Yes, it's just as powerful, but if you know Make, you can build anything in N8N for a fraction of the cost. So in this demo, but we're going to learn N8N later on this week. So that's what this basic workflow is. It looks at the database, grabs that information, downloads the image. Then this is the only difference where previously we sent it to ChatGPT to write it. But what you're going to use for, this was interesting, for Deepseek, you're going to use this website called Open Router. Open Router allows you to create API calls, and then you could link many different models. They have a ton of free models. So basically you're making an API call to Open Router, and then Open Router is going to run the model for you and then return the information. You could fund it for $5, honestly. So if we look at my activity, I've been running some queries, just sending information to create a blog post, and look at the cost. That's the second significance of it, is that if you have an application or you're doing some automation where you're having these AI, I don't want to call them agents, I want to call this an AI enabled workflow than AI agents, because AI agents has the ability to work completely like choose your own adventure kind of thing. Even OpenAI's operators, it's not really agents. Like they're already predefined APIs. It's not like it's choosing its own API. They're already predefined. So it's kind of like hiding the workflows underneath the hood. So that's why I'm not choosing this as far as like operators yet. We're going to get to operators. But look at the cost. It is fractions of a penny. So that's the other thing. You get something O1 super, which is free, or at least large language model, and it's much cheaper to run than ChatGPT. So if you remember our other one, we were using OpenAI assistants. We were doing that and just using the API from ChatGPT. So the only difference is now we're choosing the model in Open Router. And if we go back to our workflow, here's our module with Open Router, where basically it's called create a chat completion. So you link your API keys, you fund Open Router with like $5. That's more than enough to like last you. Like you could go crazy, honestly. And it has good limitations when so it doesn't go rogue, basically. So under this section here, message, right here, content. This I'll be honest, it took me a couple times to try and get it to prompt right. It wasn't returning the right info. It was just it wasn't understanding the prompt. So I had it for me debugging. I went to ChatGPT because I just want to show you also like the debugging, like things don't work right off the bat, for example. So I hit a bug and it wasn't understanding the prompt. So I went to ChatGPT and I asked it and I said, hey, I want you to fix this prompt. And this was my original prompt. And so ChatGPT wrote me a much better prompt that actually worked. So I think it's more important that you guys learn how to debug things. Kind of like, again, the Space Invader didn't work out right off the bat. And it's just part of like being a coder. Like when you learn how to code, part of the joy is being a detective and trying to solve the bugs in it. So look, bugs are fun. I like bugs. So it's more important. I want to show you how do I debug it. So I debugged the prompt, got it to work. So let's actually take a look. And then all I'm doing is I'm passing in that message, or that message is basically a variable. And I'm saying, hey, use the provided content ID. And I pass in my message basically from here, this message, to create a short title and a 3-sentence message for a LinkedIn blog post, translated for average Joe to understand the message, return the output, because it's just like ChatGPT, where it's kind of like verbose as far as the answer. So that's why I love using translate for average Joe. Makes it very easy to understand. Return the output as a JSON object containing the generated title and message. I'm trying to get it to do two things at once, so I get more bang for my buck, like generate a title and generate a message, and then returning in a JSON object containing our generated title and message, both based on the given content idea. I'm running it as user. I'm choosing Deepseek R1, which is wild. You could choose many different models here too. And then I'm saying, hey, I do want to enable JSON mode. And that was all the settings that I used. And then it returns as a JSON. The data, if we click into it, when it returns, it's going to return it under choices. Oops, there we go. Under choices and messages. So you can see, and then content. So that's where you're going to find the message when it returns it. So here it's returning the JSON object. We're just passing it into a JSON parser, and then we could post on LinkedIn. So let me take a look at my LinkedIn. Let me refresh to say, look, there's nothing there. Cool, nothing there. Just the post to say, hey, show it for today. So we're going to run it. Hopefully the demo gods are good to us. You can see it running. It sent it to Deepseek. I've noticed DeepSeek takes longer than OpenAI to run, which is interesting too. OpenAI was like half the speed, and sometimes it crashed too, like it timed out, which maybe maybe what it will do right now. See, it timed out, which is interesting. So run it again, because I know it works. It's like, I know you work. There you go. See that nuance. So reliability, I would still use ChatGPT and OpenAI Assistant. It didn't crash whenever it ran, and it ran a lot faster. So that's something I noticed. And like, again, you got to play with these automations before you like deploy them in your workflow, but you have options. So it deployed it second time. Again, we had to play with the prompt and that. We could look at the cost. What did that cost us? Fraction of a penny. That's cool. And then if we go to LinkedIn and refresh, this is so cool. Boom. Look at that. That's so dope. That's like hello world. Hello world. If you learn how to code, the first thing exercise they teach you is hello world, which is super dope. So this is my hello world. Deepseek, there's our title. Here's our message. Ever wish you could understand the complex tech stuff without needing a degree? That's where Deepseek comes in. Awesome. So it generated our prompt. And then this is something I just hard coded right there at the very bottom and just added the image. Later, we'll add automation that will actually generate the image. We'll use another AI tool, but that's going to be later on. So that's pretty dope. So now you know Deepseek, you could create a free account, start playing with it. Again, it's on par with O1. It does have some nuances, a little bit of bias. It's great for coding. It doesn't have, but the interesting thing is this is just the first week that it's been out. So that's the game with AI, is that every single week AI evolves. There's new models, there's new workflows, the models get faster, the workflow tools get better. I mean, just this month we've had a whole bunch of AI automation tools. That's NAN, that's Relevance AI. We're going to play with NAN later this week, which I'm excited for. So you can build AI agents. I don't want to call them AI agents. I just want to call them AI automation workflows, basically. But we'll get into AI agents where there's a way we're going to do it. So not using ChatGPT's operators, we're going to actually build one using open source solutions because it could control your browser and it could access YouTube and other stuff, because ChatGPT, when it goes to operators, it's still limited. Like you can't surf all the web and have it do whatever you want. So again, this whole thing comes down to the difference between proprietary solutions like ChatGPT and operators. But now, I mean, it's not now, it's more of the case that no matter what, open source is always going to win. I mean, think of like Mac, think of like all your largest computers, they're all like Linux underneath, and Linux is open source. And then a lot of innovation of what these, regardless of technology, the open source, a lot of what companies do is they take the open source and then they just monetize it. So that's basically what we're seeing, is that open source is always going to win. It is what it is, and you'll get more features. And then they'll be on par with consumer, easy to use, just like Deepseek has a UI, which is pretty wild. So that is Deepseek, and then you can run it locally, which is super exciting. That's something really cool, is that you could just turn up a browser. It's completely blocked off from the internet. None of the information is getting sent. So I think that's really cool there. Lastly, if you want to learn more about AI and stay up to date, highly recommend join the AI Mastermind online community. We have Q&As, plus I'm working on the 30-day AI challenge course, and then a bunch of other courses. You'll see a course in there with make.com, a course in there with a bunch of the best AI tools, Perplexity, Claude. There's a bunch of there's a bunch of other AI tools in there. And then you can see recordings. We meet every Saturday at 10 a.m. For the community. Right, Jose? It's Deepseek became like one of the most popular downloaded app on your phone. So download it on your phone. Again, just know that two things. One, all the information is going to China, so don't put any personal information on it. Second, create something with it. At the end of the day, I want to see what you guys create. And just this whole series is just meant to inspire you to learn something new. I'm learning new. I've learned more new AI stuff within the last 2 weeks just doing this series. Like that's super fun for me. Exciting. So that is it for the demo and for the trainings. I'm also learning again, trying to go live. I don't know why my live stream broke. Anyways, so again, thank you so much for showing up. Join the school community. There's a free 7-day trial. Link is down below. And then you could take the 30-day challenge. It takes you from beginner and it goes all the way through prompt engineering. And then you can become an expert learning make.com. And then we're also had NAN next month, but we're adding a lot of new features. But you'll learn the most popular AI tools so that you could be an AI expert in your field or industry. This series repeats Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Where this whole point of the series is just to inspire you to play with the AI tools and create something that you've always wanted to create, whether it be a book, whether it be an app, whether it be a business, whether it solve a problem that you always had in your life. Like honestly, I have ChatGPT on my phone and I'll use it to like as a therapist, as a business coach, as a life coach, as a doctor. I've diagnosed so many of my family's medical issues. It's been so nice. And then it's really helpful to whenever you have a blocker with some trouble or issue, like technical issue that you're working on, there's no excuse. So I really want to inspire you to create something using these AI tools. I look forward to seeing what you create in the community and then to see people in my school community. I love supporting them with the courses. I just love teaching. So thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow. This week, we're definitely going to learn NAN, and I got a couple other real interesting ones. So Brother Vince says, I wrote an Adventure Kids book for my grandson. Thank you for the lesson. That's what I want. That's what I love. I want you guys to create. I'm excited. Like there's a lot of good AI could do. It's a great and powerful tool, and I'm happy and I love teaching. So I'll see you guys in future episodes. Hope you have a blessed night. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.